Hi, John here. It's Sunday today, 9th of March 2025. I've just come back from my walk and feeling pretty good. And just a straight walk around a paddock today. And I'm just going to carry on and finish off the book, a 388-page book today, and send it out to Parliament here, all the emails, and also to Ben Key. He's the Admiral of the Fleet in London, or Britain, UK, and also send it to his predecessor, Boyce, Baron Lord Boyce. He was the Admiral of the Fleet for a long, long time in Parliament now, in the upper house. So I'll get in touch with him as well, write to him, and write to Ben Key, the Admiral of the Fleet, and send the book and all the letters to Boyce, Baron Boyce, Admiral of the Fleet, and all my communications back to 2012, when I first started off, earlier than that, 2009, with our company Ngātawa Ewa Aotea Limited, and I'll just show you it in the book. So I'm just proofreading it at the moment, just to make sure what page am I on, so I know. 298 and 298, just write down 8 page. Okay, that's politicians. See, I'm not even puffing. I've just come back from my walk, and no going up and down the hill. Just straight around, that's what I'll do now, just to keep fit and, of sound mind. So there you see, I'll just shift that. It's just a little too high. That is better. Save. Save. And now King Romeo and Queen Juliet. I just lined it up straight with King William on his horse, the 8-point star of St. Patrick's and his crown on the top, the 8-point star of King William IV, and he's the Grand Master of the Freemasons, and there's the Admiral there. So the Freemasons, 8-point star of St. Patrick in Ulster, Northern Ireland, and that's to pick up the rent in all 4 corners of the planet on our flag, north, east, south, west, or Naho e wha, and that's what that is for. And the crown is your sovereign of 8 billion people in the world, native, born on their land, in their native country, is all the sovereigns added up in one king. Of the 5 kings I've got here, I'll show you afterwards, and I'll do a little rough rundown on it. I'll be on the radio, 89 FM, Free FM, in Hamilton next Wednesday at 11 o'clock with Jack Liam and Janny. She'll be there with us as well, and I think there might be some people from the local Ngaruahia people that are putting up a flag, and Jack said they got a 6-point star, and Jack said no, it's got to be a 8-point star. There's all the ministers of New Zealand Parliament all getting this notice of the Mechanics' Lane, and I'll put my certificates there as well for Mechanics Lane on each one's head for a trillion Moai pound notes. And I'm going on the value of the pound note being Mecca. Mecca is 100 billion to build Mecca, the building, high-rise building, and that has got a valuation. They can't say the valuation, but it sounds and looks like 2 trillion. So 8 billion people divided into 2 trillion, and that's what your pound note's worth. The 2 bar patented Patterson Moai pound note is worth that much. If you divided that 8 billion people into 2 trillion, that's how much the current pound note is worth in the 2 bar. Okay, there's Romeo, King Romeo and Queen Juliet, King and Queen of England, sovereign soil land under the Mason Act, the Property Trust Act, Mason's Property Trust Act, 1956, and amended to 2023. There's our current king, Ernest Augustus the Fifth, there with the 8-point star there. That's the brand there. 8-point star just said picks up the rent around the world on our flag in 4 corners of the planet. Naho e wha. Okay, so that's him, the current legitimate and legal King of Britain, UK, Hanover, and the King of England otherwise. And there's the King, there's the Paramount Chief Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau on the right, and Hongi Hika on the left, Cook Island and Moriori from Taiwan and South Africa, or Africa. That fellow there is not a Pacific Islander. Moriori, the book, the 388-page book, this book here is all about that man. Okay? Not this fellow. He went to get the muskets. He went there to be a real estate transfer of native land to the British Crown ownership, which is here, there, right here. Okay, so you know, there's the flag there. See the flag in 4 corners? North, east, south, west of the world is him. Okay, so there's Moai seal, that Queen Victoria Trust, 1844, that's that one. And this one is King William IV, 1835 Constitution flag and a municipal corporations flag, 8-point star of St. Patrick's Church as a Protestant Dutch founding of New Zealand under the Confederation of the United Tribes of Aotearoa New Zealand, British St. George's Cross there, and the little cross here is the contract with us, the chiefs of New Zealand. There's 13 of them, but I'm going to check the names out against the Trump executive orders of DNA and identification of the name, the surname, transliteration of Maori to Pākehā. Okay, there's difference between Pākehā, who came from Australia, New South Wales prison convicts, and Pākehā from Westminster or from any other European country as native direct to New Zealand under Pākehā. Okay, Pākehā, Australia and Victoria, that stole that, so they're thieves, criminal convicts that stole my Moai and put Queen Victoria from Australia title into the Moai. And it's in Dunedin on Otago Museum with a crown on his head, and that's my title to the Pacific Island people and Tahiti and the Wānoa tribe there, and the hapu here. The Wānoa hapu here and the tribe of Wānoa in Raiatea Island, Pacific, and also an Easter Island. So there, he's on every page, King and Queen of England, sovereign land there. And then the Admiralty of Ben Key, the Admiral of the Fleet, there with the mortgage to the King and Queen robots with more brains in their head than real humans there. Okay, so that's why all parliaments are going robot in their politicians. And for New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, murderer and jabber of vaccines, is going to be called Sam, the robot Prime Minister of Australia or New Zealand. So that's her against this man, Romeo, that's got 5 kings that made the Admiralty law to make mortgages on a 10-acre block in Helensville, Awaroa Bank and Awaroa Native Magistrate Courthouse in Helensville, south of the inner harbour of Kaipara. Okay, so there's our king there in live. Man living in London, he's about 76, same age as me, and he's 8-point star on our flag. Here, to pick up the rent of the lease lands in 4 corners of this planet Earth. Okay, and there's King William IV on his horse on dry land, with his crown on the horse and the sea, from the sea onto the land. Okay, so there's the Moai flag there. I'm going to get that made with the pyramid, the African, Hebrew, the real black Jesus, not the white Jesus, the black Jesus, and the Moai statue with a crown on his head here, and the sun god Ra there, right? And you've got a spaceship down here. Right there, I'm going to build that. That's ready to go anytime soon. It's going to get built. It'll take a year to build that. There's the army. I'm getting 2,000 of these, right? And they're ready to go. All the same model from China, and the brain, I just need to get the brain fitted there, and everything under their auspices. Okay, now this one is the rightful King and Queen of England's sovereign soil land under the Masons Property Trust Act 1956 and 2023, and the certificate I'm using here of Mohi Manukau, Paramount Chief Mohi Manukau, and his certificate 50 years here against King Edward here. Okay, King Edward, he's ran away. He's no longer there. He's on the Parliament in Westminster, have got a robot, the first robot MP in Parliament up there. See? First robot addresses UK Parliament, but minutes later this happened. Watch till the end. You see? So I put him in his robot versus this robot here that's got 5 kings from William I, William the Conqueror, to William III, the creator of the mortgage lien, mechanics lien, and the creator of the Bank of England Act, 1694, and the creator of the 2-bar patented pound note, 1694, and the 1689 Bill of Rights. This king has those 5 kings, emperors, straight line of sovereignty unbroken, or a continuity of sovereignty. This fella here is snapped off. Queen Victoria snapped it off when she went in as queen by the Rothschild family and the Nations families, legislated Ernest Augustus I out. He was the brother of King George IV and King William IV. Legislated him out and put this guy, and his bloodline comes from Queen Victoria in. So him, that's me, as his successor, surrogate, paramount chief, which is equal to a king, Moai Te Mati Manukau versus King Edward, the Grand Master of the Freemasons right through the world, is this guy. He has run away, people, and there is no one to replace him yet. But I'm putting this guy here in as Ernest Augustus here, the debt collector. Okay, the debt collector here, right there. So you've got the Freemasons flag here, 8-point star in Helensville, Awaroa Native Magistrate Court, and the Awaroa Bank, which started the BNZ Bank, went to the League of Nations, then to the United Nations, then to the World Bank, came from here under the Masons as Ngāti Whā Atua. The Atua and this mongrel tribe, Ngāti Whātua, split the name up and put Ngāti Whātua, and that tribe, Ngāti Whātua, belongs to the Crown of New Zealand in Wellington, Beehive. So, crooked. They crooked did this and defrauded it, this 8-point star here, and hijacked the whole thing. That was Queen Victoria and this guy here, King Edward, after Victoria. That is corrupted the whole parliaments right through the world, and even New Zealand, where we are the second party back then under him. He's a de facto government. He here and him is a de jure marriage to the British Crown, and he is de jure as a robot to Ernest Augustus I, the missing one of the I'll show you here. He's the missing one. That's being the secret society hidden away and put Victoria in. It's all corruption from then on, and illegitimate coronation of Queen Elizabeth and illegitimate coronation of William and Kate. Where's he going to put his hand on the scone in Scotland? What is he going to be the king of? What is he going to be, the King William going to be the king of? That's the Freemason stuff there. I'm not a Freemason, but I'm sure I am held using their authority on these documents. Okay, so there's King William IV with the 4 corners of the Earth planet. There's Ernest Augustus. Oh no, that's King William III, sorry, and his pound note there. He's next to his 2-bar pound note, and the Rothschilds are trying to steal this. I'm going in to take it off them. See, they put that together like $15 trillion. 15 trillion in assets. It's almost like 5. Moai 2-bar pound notes becomes legal money currency. Moai 1 trillion. Moai pound note, pound money credit, liquid cash, birth certificate, bond, investment, instrument. That's that one we're using legitimately and legally under King William III, Grand Master, and Grand Master of Masons Property Trust Act, King William IV. Okay, it's in here. You can read it just for proof that anybody trying any tricks to go over the top of this will get a pound note on their head. There's William the Conqueror, King William I, 1066 AD, King William III of Orange, Battle of the Boyne, and the creator of the 2-bar pound note, and also the creator of the Bank of England Act 1694, Pound Note Act 1694, and the Bill of Rights Act 1689 was legislated into law in Westminster Parliament, not 1688. That was still in battle with the Catholics, and King James got booted up the arse, and this king here went in as a Dutch Protestant versus the Catholic Church, and then he became the master of the Crown Corporation's business assets, and his original court of record to the money situation and clean hands. No blood in his hands, clean hands. After that, Bill of Rights Act. Okay? So that's that legacy to that legacy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? King George IV. There. And then King William. This is the line of monarchy to a continuity of sovereignty here under a Mason Property Trust Act 2023. We are applying it because this King William I started the Lord Treasury debt management here, and it went debt management, Lord Treasury to King George IV, to Lord Treasury, King William IV, to Ernest Augustus, the first, the brother of King William, and that's the line, brother, brother, brother. 3 brothers. You can't go wrong. And Edward and Queen Victoria snap us off to him, and they can't prove, Edward and Queen Victoria can't prove where they got the authority from. So I'm just saying, don't go anywhere near this, because you'll get a pound note on your head, $1 trillion no less, on any living soul, S-O-L-E, and living soul, S-O-U-L. If you play around with this, you'll get into trouble. So there's Ernest Augustus, the first, King William IV's brother. He's supposed to be the next in line. He's very powerful then because he was the Grand Master. Look, read. Ernest Augustus Frederick, 1773 to 1843. See, past the 1840 Treaty of Waitangi, this guy should have been here with his Duke of Sussex, Grand Master of all corporations in the world. He was the master of all your corporation companies in the world, and Victoria and Edward, the bastard king, took him out and legislated him out, didn't appoint themselves, they legislated and used Parliament to take the big, most powerful Freemason in the world at that time was Ernest Augustus, the next in line to King William IV, and our flag we're going to poke up on Mikey Hill at Russell. And I want to make certain that you know the true story. Don't go with King Edward. He's a bastard king, and there's no right with making deals with anybody. It was this man here. Read it. Augustus Frederick, 1773 to 1843, rules out your Treaty of Waitangi straight away, because he was the Duke of Sussex, was Grand Master there. He's the head master of the United Grand Lodge of England. This is the biggest, original, first governing body of Freemasons that are business people right over the world. The governing body of the Freemasonry in England and Wales from 1813 to 1843. During this time, he introduced a number of rules of... Oh, shit, where did I get up to? Number of rules and customs that are... Oh, I'm trying to shift this down without spoiling it. During this time, he introduced a number of rules and customs that are still part of Freemasonry today. In this portrait, he is wearing the regalia of the Grand Master, and he stands in front of the Grand Master's throne. Okay, the throne, people, the crown business belong to this guy, nobody else. No Edward, no Queen Victoria, no Elizabeth, no Charlie, no William, no Kate, no anybody. Okay, Freemasonry today. In this portrait, he's wearing a regalia of Grand Master, and he stands in front of Grand Master's throne. The throne is part of the suite of 3 that were originally made for George, Prince of Wales, later George IV. Look, people, he's the one that made a deal with Paramount Chief Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau for the lease of New Zealand native sovereign lands. Was with Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau from Arapuni in Cambridge, New Zealand, to Cambridge, England, where he went to learn all this stuff. And someone killed him, okay? See, a dirty Edward and bastard Victoria and Elizabeth and all that royal family thrown into the sea where they came from. When he was Grand Master, King George was the Grand Master from 1790 to 1813. Look, people, you can't look any further than the truth here I'm disclosing. Okay, I'm going down on the radio in Hamilton just to say this to everybody there. You've been mizzled and you've been corrupted to hell and back again. The thrones of the Duke of Sussex regalia are now in the collection of the Library and Museum of Freemasonry. He's also wearing the Royal Medal, which he introduced when Master or Ruler of the Lodge of Antiquity. See, so there we go. King Ernest Augustus I to King Ernest Augustus V. Okay, so I'll try and find King Ernest Augustus V. It goes from there to, where is he? King Ernest Augustus V. I'm going to show you, so you got it in your mechanic's brain, if you're going to be a mechanic, to work out problems. There's Moai Manukau, I'll come back to him in a minute. There's Ernest Augustus V. That's from that Ernest Augustus I showed you to Ernest Augustus V, the legal owner of 970 million trillion pound notes, value against 8 billion sovereign people on this planet Earth. And it's in his brain. King Romeo and Queen Juliet. Okay, so that's where that's gone, and I'll go and find... Yeah, there's King Ernest Augustus V, the rightful heir to the throne. That's there now, and William is going to run away to Scotland, where his mother is buried, and no more King of England. She was the Queen of England. Where's the Queen of England, people? It's under the Edward line, ran away. They're all running away. And all running away fucking between their legs' tails. Okay, so there's your rightful heir to the throne, and that much. That's outstanding. Okay, 970 million trillion pound notes is outstanding, and we're calling up the account and settlement on the 20th of March 2025 in Waitangi Treaty Grounds in New Zealand, where it was hidden. All this I'm telling you. Okay, there's your king and queen. And there's the monkeys here. That monkey, that monkey, that monkey, that monkey, and that monkey. Okay, this monkey is stolen 17 trillion US dollar from me and my brain with those kings, those 5 kings that put it all together, and the 6th one being Ernest Augustus V. This monkey pinched the 17 trillion, and we've got to get the Freemasons to get it back. And he's liable, all of the Freemasons, he's liable, all of the courts, he's liable every judge in the world, he's liable every lawyer in the world, every solicitor in the world, every court in the world, and every parliament in the world. This Maori has corrupted the whole of the monarch system for his own self-interest family, the Mitchell Family Trust. And you can see what he did with 17 trillion in Australia. Bought 17 trillion worth of real estate. That's what these monkeys are doing. This monkey here is a Japanese, look at the eyes, Japanese Maori. You see the Maori? And married into the Maori to steal this country with her flag and her corporate private company called Crown Sovereign of New Zealand. How dare she do that? And this monkey here, Jacinda Ardern, jabbed everybody, and Tokelo Island, jabbed a whole lot of them and killed them. Okay, killed them dead. That one, and Ashley Bloomfield. They're in there. This one, Ashley Bloomfield. That one is going with the rope, Donald Trump's rope, for treason. They're all treason against our federal flag law of this land and the world. We're taking it to Westminster and put it up for saving the whole flippin' world from these monkeys, okay? So there it is. I'm just going to say, New Zealand Crown Foreign Private Corporation Government committed treason, money laundering, criminal organisation of a killer murderous gang. 1. Ex-Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, COVID-19, is safe and effective, lied, murdered, jabbed people. 2. Governor General Cindy Asalon Kiro, Japanese Maori, counterfeit New Zealand flag. 3. Ex-New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins, mandated COVID-19, said your choice, lied, murderer. 4. Eddie Mitchell, CEO, Mitchell Family Trust, corporate money laundering. There, the richest corporate criminal in the world is that Maori. Right? That's the problem with Maori. They don't have a Maori title to New Zealand. They faked it. Fake. Okay, Ashley Bloomfield, here, MP responsible for administering COVID-19 poison jabs. That jab. They're all going to get the jab 6 times to see if it's safe and effective. And we'll soon see the truth in that when they're forced to take it under the federal flag law. Okay, your just medicine will be coming back to collect on it. Chris Luxton, New Zealand Crown Corporate de facto government in default. Contract undisputed bankruptcy from 1823 to 2025 to 200 years of debt owed. That green pound note, that's yours. You thugs are going to have to pay back all that money to all your offsprings and everybody that you jabbed. and killed. There's enough proof of that. But this gets you one shot, the whole lot. Nicola Willis, News and Treasury, charged fraud, Maori, Moai pound note, 970 million trillion pound note, MTT, bill, debt, recovery. 8, Waitangi National Trust trustees and every iwi Maori trustee debtor liable. This man here liable you whole lot. This man liable you whole lot. This woman, and this man libeled you all with a business idea of COVID-19. And there's your king and there's your queen, safe and sound, got all the answers in his brain. I just changed the chip and put everything that I've got from my brain into his brain, and all the upper house and lower house of Westminster, all in his brain and her brain as well, but he gets to do the contract, not her. She does all the secretary work, keeps a record, and I can ask her what's the answer, and I can ask him what's the answer, and I'll be controlling him and her. Okay, as a surrogate King William III of Orange. That's me. With Mohi Manukau, the Freemason, Grand Master. That's me. There's the big pound note on your heads. 8 billion corporate souls, S-O-L-E, that's the corporate money, and 8 billion corporate souls, S-O-U-L, that's the spiritual people in churches and Buddha and Allah and everybody else that's got a religion or some cult going. You're in the 970 million trillion pound note, 2 bar, with a gold earth of God's money from his earth. Treasury note, Bank Notes Act 1833, C63. There, 2 bars on the pound note. Okay, it's got 2 bars on the pound note. And you've seen enough of that floating around. So that's square now. On every page, we have the King and Queen of England, sovereign land, and Westminster Parliament, where all the law is on that sovereign land over the whole world, as Grand Master Mr. Robot Romeo has got it in his brain, with my brain in it too. Okay, nobody else, you don't need anybody else's brain. You just need a mechanic's lean, that's me, a mechanic, and the rest of the Parliament in there, upper house and lower house. That's over 1,200 souls, S-O-L-Es, in his brain to take their job off them and do a better job. And there's the Freemason on every page, their symbol of business, and they've got crooks in there as well. That's where your society is hidden, with Eddie Mitchell stole 17 trillion US dollars worth. That's through a Freemason in New Zealand, in Hamilton, New Zealand, went to the Freemason in Singapore, washed up the dirty money in the laundering company there, IBC, International Baptist Church, and then spirited it to Australia, all over Australia, as more Freemasons there to administer the dirty business, to make it look clean. Clean hands or no, or I'm saying it's no clean hands, and then off to Edinburgh in Scotland. See, Scotland, and the Queen is in Scotland, and William and Kate. William is the King of Scotland now. You see the picture of a cult in the wrong hands. This flag and this authority here of our flag here and the Moai is in the wrong hands. and King William IV is in the wrong hands, and the Supreme Court here, in the wrong hands, right? The wrong bloodline, Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth, and King Edward is in the wrong bastard monarch family. So there's Mohi Monica once again versus King Edward. He's run off. Didn't abdicate, just ran away because they're going into robots now. So he's gone, and this robot here is Westminster robot. This is a real robot running Westminster instead of these useless turkeys that haven't got a fucking brain in their head that can match this brain in this head. Okay? 1,200 MPs in their head, and all the Moai tidal turbine projects, and Musk's head, and Trump's head, and my head in there. One head. Okay, all the chips go in. I'm making sure of that. And there's the pound note there. You see the 2 bars? And Rothschilds and the Queen and Edward King put this there, and the Freemasons to steal Patterson, William Patterson, and John Patterson was my partner. I went to England, was waiting for me. They put him in the mental home, put me in the mental home. That's what we got out of that fucking bastard, King Edward, and Queen Victoria, and Queen Elizabeth, and Charlie, and now William. You're going to get this pound note on your head, William, and every other monarch on that side versus me and Santi Hitarangi from Easter Island. You stole this, Queen Elizabeth, Charlie's mother, and William. You stole this, William, this crown on the head of this Moai in Otago Museum in Dunedin. That belongs to me. Okay? You owe that for stealing this. Cost that. Okay? To that man and me with my name right there on there. You owe this to all the people in the world, not to me and this man. We are spiritual, S-O-U-L, that tells the truth against you lot of thugs, S-O-L-E, that tells lies. Okay, lies are here. There, lies are here. On the last page, page 388, lies are here, 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 and here, Elizabeth. Okay, lies all the way through, truth here. Moai, truth, lies here. There, Maori and Pākehā. Maori and Pākehā against Pākaha. Dutch. Here, King Ernest Augustus V. Pākaha. Okay, that's the difference between a Pākehā and a Maori. Mixture of pigments, DNA. That's why we're doing a DNA test to see who is bullshitting. This guy says that Te Waikato is a woman. Can you go and tell him that it doesn't look like a woman to me? Hongi Hika and Te Waikato don't look like transvestites to me. This is his brain and his brain. They work together. This one does the real estate, which is what I do, and this one here does the Maori land court, which is going out of fashion. They're shutting it down because it was a fraud in the first place. So they're carrying the faces of fraud. Right in this 388 pages is that Maori and this Pākehā. Bastard. Look, bastard Pākehā. Bastard Queen. Bastard Charlie. Bastard William. And bastard Kate. Pretty faces, but dirty on the inside. They want to kill you, as Satan does. So there we are, signed here, and we've got Gregory there to be a contractor to pick the debt bill owing, call up accounts. And Graham Aylett from Aylett Investigations, that started with me in 2012 on recovering the debt. I'll give him the contract. He's licensed as a debt collector, and he's from England, Scotland Yard. Okay, so he's a Scotland Yard detective turned into New Zealand as a private detective, and I've had lots of association with him. He's got all these documents of these crooks. And he said, John, I need a court order. And I said, I'm not going to that court to get a court order because it's an inferior lower court. I'm staying at a native court, which is the highest authority in the world. Now, you see here, Luxton is carrying on under this flag of this woman, Japanese Maori, here, the flag of New Zealand gazetted by Paul Goldsmith. He's got this £1 trillion notes on his head as well. They're going to lose everything. They're losing everything because there's treason. This is treason flag against this Freemasons flag, the wooden one. This Japanese Maori flag of New Zealand is gazetted to overtake this and threaten it. They're threatening it with this woman here, Jacinda Ardern, who abused this flag. And now, Chris Luxon, they're following a same pattern of the busted affidavit Exhibit 60. I'll use that on his head and Nicola Willis, his treasurer's head, and Cindy Kiro's head. I'll use this affidavit Exhibit 60 to get them $1 trillion each, or in the case of Cindy Kiro and Jacinda Ardern, they got 1,000 trillion on their head just to bust their corporation business and the Rothschild Bank, bankrupt them. Okay, that's what this Moai bank, powerhouse bank, is doing, bankrupting all these people, and Trump and Musk is doing the honours to clear the way for us. He's a Mason, and so he's doing the Mason's work. There's nothing anybody can do because I'm backing him up doing a Mason's job with these documents. Okay? So, Gregory, that's you and your global team. You haven't got a license to go and arrest any property. You need the New Zealand police or some other contracted police to pay them with what? You see, so you're going to come back to the Moai Powerhouse Bank and King William IV and also King Ernest Augustus V. Otherwise, you're on the wrong monarch line of Edward. Don't put Edward in front of me because that, to me, is offensive. And don't do that up on Mikey Hill with Edward and Tamati Wakanene, because I've got my own wānoa title to the Pacific and straight to God, straight to the kings, the 5 kings, straight to them from Easter Island and Santi Hitarangi. That's it. And Tangaroa, you can't take that title away from me because I'm going to do a DNA test on everybody before they can enter into a native sovereign land court. Okay, so there. Be wary that Trump and Musk are trying to get shut down by the Democrats. I don't think they're going to do that with this in the way. All right? They can't do it with this business in the way. It's too big. The business itself might be evil, and there's discrepancies in it as well, but it can't be stopped by any amateur or somebody smaller with a military smaller than this lot. Okay, there's the monarch line. This is the ones that created the money, created the laws of the land, and created the sovereignty that made you a valuable instrument in a native magistrate King's Bench court. Okay, just to let you know that I'm not here playing around, because I got 50 years of all the history, and as a author and as a historian of these kings and historian of the Moai statue and the pyramids of Egypt that the monarchs have stolen, and also the Freemasons have stolen. All that Phoenix stuff here is the black man's, because it'll return back to them. And the Freemasons have used it, abused it, and made money out of it. And so we have to weigh up the odds and put the history back where it should be. Okay, so I'm just saying, in all this paraphernalia, there is a trick. It is being hidden from you for years, and it's going to come back to the sovereign common law people of the king's common law. Okay, so that's the phoenix of Africa, the black people, not the white people that were sinning and causing chaos. All the chaos, you say, is the white man that's imitating something that don't belong to them. They don't belong to the Sphinx. They're making money and memorials out of the Sphinx, which is the black African Mohi Manukau Moriori, and the black African and black Tahitian family that's in the tikanga law, L-O-R-E, of truth. The truth versus the lies. Okay, the lies and the lies and the lies and the lies. These are all the monarchs' line, and these ones are more under Edward, and mostly that is counter to what I'm saying as these five kings, emperors, law, and superior law. Okay, superior law. And Moai, he's picking up the debt of the debtors. Okay, truth prevails. Okay, truth prevails, and that's all I'm going on, truth. Okay, here's the Pākehā here, Pākaha, not Pākehā, Pākaha, like Kate Frost is saying, Pākaha. I thought she was going to come on our show, but she didn't. Someone else came as Kate and some other name, but didn't say a word. And it's a mystery that they didn't say anything, because if you say something in a native court, it goes on record and your photo has to be there as well. When you don't put your photo in a native court, it's ruled out, because you can't stand truth if you don't put your photo and declare yourself as truth. There's King George IV there, affidavit 247, exhibit. See, the exhibit photo, story of King's historic visit and its lasting impact. From 15 to 29th of August 1822, George IV visited Edinburgh. That's where he made a deal with Te Waikato Wharehere Manukau. I'm just telling you, it's a true story. He was the first reigning British monarch to come to Scotland in almost 200 years. So I've got the way into Holyrood Castle in Edinburgh, and I can go straight in there and do what I want with it. 200 years. It was an occasion filled with great significance, and it was a first visit by a monarch. And I'll go right over the top of William and Kate with this authority in Holyrood in Scotland and chuck this book in their face. Okay? He was the first reigning British monarch to come to Scotland in almost 200 years. It was an occasion filled with great significance, as it was first visited by the monarch since Charles II in 1651 for his Scottish coronation. See, you got to get coronated there. So where is William going to get coronated for who? And the first since I'm going there to look at the coronation stone and touch it with the King Romeo. I'm taking King Romeo there to touch the stone because he's the king that succeeds to King George, monarch, and King George, the Grand Master of the Freemasons. I'm telling you, Greg and everybody else up north, you better listen up because I'm telling the truth about who's who in the zoo. Okay, occasion filled with the great significance as it was the first visit by monarch since Charles II in 1651 for his Scottish coronation, the first since the Act of Union joined the Parliaments of England and Scotland in 1707 to create the United Kingdom. There, the King of the United Kingdom there, and Te Waikato, Whare Here Here Manukau, he's a man of substance, not a bloody transvestite like how Alfred Mitchell is saying. You see, that makes Alfred suspect and Eddie suspect. They're caught. They are caught red-handed with their money-stealing abilities of the Parliament, and all those Pākehās are doing the same thing in the Parliament in Wellington and right around the world. Okay, so there. Walter Scott, no, we don't need him. So anyway, yeah, Palace of Holyrood, the King's Gallery, Palace of Holyrood, Affidavit Exhibit 246. That's what I'm using to march my way straight in there with King Romeo and Queen Juliet. March straight into Holyrood in Edinburgh and take the wealth back from where it got stolen from the Edward bastard line. Bastard, there's a word meaning for bastard, and you can look that up yourself because there's many meanings to a bastard, and he's one of them, and Charles is the other bastard, and Henry is the other bastard. There's plenty of bastards, and I don't like bastards, right? I'll get rid of the bastards and put somebody good in there. A robot is more trusting than a real bastard. That's what I'm saying, Ngāpui. You better listen up because this is the hidden secret. Disclosed. Right? I'm saying it's disclosed and there's nothing to see here because it's out there and the court can't rule on something higher than their brain. They have no brain to go this deep into history to find who's who in the zoo. Okay, so there's the Chinese dragon. I'm going Chinese because they're a lot more advanced in a lot of areas and cheaper and more in tune with what we're doing. There's Moai Manukau. I'm taking his place as a surrogate master, Grand Master of the Freemasons, him, and his certificate of 50 years and birth certificates here of his ancestor, 1834, proof of claim, and a what you call it? There's another name for that. Claim of right to do what I'm doing legitimately, and go and put the hand of this robot onto the scone in Scotland to be the coronated King of England and King of Scotland and King of everywhere else he went. Okay? And Ernest Augustus V doesn't need to be a king because there's a robot there. But certainly if he asks, we might give him something of a royalty, or if he doesn't, it means he's been shut down by these bastard kings and queens. Okay, he's been shut down and taken off the scene. And I want to put him back on the scene with his bloodlines here. It should be him here. Okay, I want to put Ernest Augustus V here, behind his Grand Master of all corporation companies in the world of Freemasonry. This is the legitimate legal boss of all corporates in the world, not King Edward anymore, because he's run off, abdicated to Ernest Augustus V, which takes Ernest Augustus the first place. Okay, this is the line of continuity of sovereignty to the sovereignty of the crown that Edward and Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria and the Rothschild Bank stolen. All that wealth, they've stolen it, and they're going to get fined and put in jail for that. You don't steal somebody's inheritance. So that's all I want to say. I'm going to get on, have my breakfast and my cup of tea. And so we'll training for now. I can explain it on the radio in 10 minutes flat, or half an hour if they give me a half an hour without saying anything and spoiling it, because I'm travelling to Hamilton on my pension to get there to go and tell them what's good for them. And I don't want anybody to talk while I'm talking, please, down on the radio station, because you're there for the information I give freely, but I'm there to help those people there to get their country back. Okay, that's what I'm there for. And then when I go up north, it's the same thing. I never change. I've never seen so many people in all my life change their spots. The same as what's happened. The Muslims have walked in on Te Marae and Waitangi and taken over. Well, how about we did the same thing to you with the Masons? Okay? All right, we'll see you later. Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, the 9th of March 2025, and it's 9:58, 10 o'clock. So see you later. Have a nice day. Bye for now.